Welcome to the So You Wanna Get Fat podcast. I am your host, not your typical chef, Brian TSAO. And today with me, as always, is my amazing co-host, who I haven't seen for almost 2 weeks now, Chef Paul Frenchy Dynamiel.
The animal.
The animal. Frenchy. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
I missed you.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
Did you come and visit?
Yeah, I saw you on Monday. No, so I lied. It hasn't been 2 weeks. It's been a little less.
Yes, I did see you.
Yeah, I saw me Monday.
A good day.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Well, we have an awesome episode for everybody today because today on the meat and potatoes.
Are we doing podcast or Chef Reacts?
Yeah,
Can I just ask you?
I literally just introduced the show and said, "Welcome to the So You Want to Get Fat podcast." Meat and potatoes of today's episode. We are going to react to a channel we have never reacted to before.
Are we going to react to all these goodies?
Yes,
here?
we are. We have a lot to show people. There's been a lot. This is actually the first recorded episode after the new year. We are going to be reacting to Max Miller's Tasting History French onion soup from 1651.
Is it close to the one I
have no idea. I didn't watch the video yet. So you guys got to stay to check that out.
Like the original recipe.
Yeah. Some shout outs. Shout out to Yay Networks. Pro Chef Reacts is moving to Yay Networks. And Yay has also provided us with a new little toy. Joshua, show the B-roll. Frenchy, you're going to like this. You're going to like this. Check this out. Yeah, you like that? And there, check this out. Yeah, or... Look at all these effects.
We should do
That's for when I do my long-winded explanations.
Can we do a morning show? Well, I need access to that.
No, this is mine. So, theoretically, the audio should get much better now, thanks to this awesome piece of equipment. I'm very excited. Because,
thank you, Yay.
Yeah, thank you, Yay. And don't forget, this podcast is available on all audio streaming platforms, most notably on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Video of this podcast is to come soon, and even Pro Chef Reacts will be available on Spotify. Not quite yet. It's still to come. Just I mentioned it last episode, but it's going to roll out. Some new and exciting things happening here. Let's see. Where, Frenchy, are we filming from right now? Speaking of where are your pants?
Nobody can tell.
We just came from the gym, went to the gym, working out.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell Frenchy it was...
Did you see me how I at the gym, I started yelling that this music sucks, and right away, like, what do you want to listen to, Paul?
No, Paul was like, we got to change the music.
And I'm like, what do you want?
No, she said, what do you want, honey? 80s. I like 80s. It was fun. It was fun.
Man.
They were playing lots of stuff. They were playing stuff like Whitney Houston,
tell them how I didn't
Cyndi
have
Lauper.
Any gym clothes, and I showed up in my
you
suit.
showed up in your Adidas tracksuit.
So I look like the typical guy who just joined the gym after New Year.
Yeah, after New Year's. Yeah. That gym turned into quite a party because they were playing a lot of 80s party hits like Madonna, Cyndi Lauper, Whitney Houston, and all as a gays. They're very happy and dancing. You saw.
I was dancing.
You're the gay.
A little bit.
All right. So, wait, did you say where we're filming from?
No.
All right. I guess you don't want to shout out.
Postcards. 340 West 46th Street, New York, 10036. Look, we got a postcard.
We got a postcard. Someone sent us a year-end postcard. Thank you, RDP. Appreciate you.
Krampus.
Yeah, Krampus.
Krampus.
Sent us a Krampus. We've had a lot of fans coming by here to Mission.
Show up at the restaurant.
Yeah, tonight someone is, Noel D is coming by for dinner tonight. He actually wants to buy us drinks.
Yeah?
Yeah, tonight, 5:30.
Oh.
Yeah, so
we'll actually be
we'll actually be there. Yeah, I told him we'll be there.
Okay.
So yeah, we have fans come by. You know, I'm usually at Mission Friday, Saturdays. A lot of you guys come by those
Nah,
days.
they're
So
usually here.
uh, all right. And yeah, check out my spot, Mission Sandwich Social, 326 Bedford Ave in Brooklyn, New York. Let's show off some cool
Toys.
shit. Yeah.
My
Well,
Chris,
yeah, your Christmas
my
gift from
Christmas
your
present.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made you your own pop. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, I mean, there's only one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were selling
Yeah,
one of
it
me.
literally says
Oh, you are one of one.
yes.
Oh, I just saw that.
Yes. This is just you.
Oh, I thought they just made one of me.
No. What?
I'm not that famous
You're
yet?
not that famous
Oh,
yet.
shit.
Yeah. I like you, buddy, but you're not that famous. All right. We're not there yet.
Soon.
Soon. All right, Joe. What else did you get? What else did you get?
And I bought us this Energy and Focus Neuro Gum.
Okay. All right. Neuro gum.
Yeah.
This is Frenchie's Christmas gift to the both of us, I guess.
Mhm. And then one for you. And then my brother-in-law got us these.
Wait. Oh, one of these is for me, or he just got you two, and
You got me two, and I'm sharing with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, we got some edible
Cocoa Nugs.
Yeah, cocoa
TH.
nugs.
He said to be very careful.
These you have to be very careful with these. I've had these before. I'm taking a little break from mind altering substances for a
Well, I
while.
haven't done anything in a long time.
Yeah, I've done quite a few things lately, so I'm kind of done for now.
I'm still on the health kick.
And last thing, gochujang
À l'orange.
is in stock. I mentioned last week that it was going into pre-order. I was wrong. There was actually some more inventory. So I think we have enough. That is not for sale. That's the jug. That's the pint jug. That is for us only. I don't know. Do you guys want a pint of gochujang à l'orange? Let us know. Maybe we will make it for sale. Yeah, the hot sauce is still in stock, so you can pick it up now. Thank you very much. Or don't. Actually, don't. But the next batch is in the works, and it is going to be gluten-free and the same price. So we've had some questions about if the sauce
What
is
was the
gluten-free.
gluten in ours?
The gochujang.
Oh, so we're gonna make it without gochujang?
No, we're getting a different gochujang that's gluten-free from the get-go. Pretty cool.
So what
huh?
ingredient has gluten?
Usually it's the starter culture used in fermentation process.
Oh.
Yes. All right. So
Did I ever mention to you that Guinness is now vegetarian?
wait, it wasn't before?
No.
Oh, what was the non-vegetarian part?
Sardines.
Mm,
No, anchovies. Anchovies.
I did not know there were anchovies. Guinness.
Yep. And if I'm wrong, who gives a fuck?
Oh yeah, that's right. Let me make something very clear.
I've been looking at some of our
Comments. Yeah.
comments.
People.
No,
Yeah.
because you posted something and people were hating on it. I was like, what the hell are all these nasty comments?
Oh no.
But it was about some other guy.
No, it's another guy. Yeah. Well, there's a couple things happening here. Frenchie's talking about like 3 different things at
yeah?
once.
Okay.
Number one is in the comment. Listen, we're a couple of idiots. All right, we're a couple of moron cooks from New York City that own our own businesses, and sometimes we say things wrong, you know. And people on the internet just love to go, "Ha, gotcha! Actually, you're wrong." We're okay with being wrong. That's what the comment section is for, and we learn. What you're talking about,
But
is
who's reading those comments?
what on YouTube? YouTube.
I don't
comment?
know anywhere.
Oh,
Because when they direct it at us, you have to tell them, I don't read it.
Yeah. I think most of our audience assumes you don't read it.
Oh, okay.
But last episode, I mentioned that I read like 70 to 80% of the comments. It's just
they got you.
I don't. I just don't always respond.
Oh.
Speaking of the comment section, you know, a few weeks ago you were saying you learned you can now do dictation in the comment section. I said,
I had already forgot about that.
I told you absolutely do not do that. But you know what? So some people in the comment section from the last episode said, don't hold Frenchie back. Unleash Frenchie. So you know what? I'm giving you permission.
Okay.
Respond to whoever the fuck you want.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. We're going to lose all of our audience. It's going to be great. But maybe we don't want them there in the first place.
You mean they're overly sensitive?
Can be, for sure. We'll see. All right. Oh, and then the thing Frenchie is talking about is my buddy Finn McKenty recently has gotten some heat on the internet. We have a collab post on Instagram between myself, Frenchie, and Finn. Frenchie is not friends with Finn, but we were speaking about him on the podcast. And man, people like the funny thing is, Finn basically stopped posting shortly after that post. So one of his most recent posts on his Instagram is a collab post with me. And Frenchie and I are seeing a lot of really fucking nasty comments to Finn. And, Finn's my buddy. I don't necessarily agree with some of the things he said. But at the end of the day, like, everyone is just being way too fucking sensitive about it. So, yeah, stop acting like a little bitch. Anyway, I'm probably going to get a lot of heat for that. It's okay. Let's go to the meat and potatoes, shall we? All right,
Yes.
meat and potatoes of today's episode.
Onion soup is one of the timeless staples of French cuisine, but the way that we eat it today, with Gruyere cheese melted on a crouton floating on top of the soup, well, that's actually pretty modern.
Yes.
So I decided I wanted to see what onion soup was, with this recipe from the reign of Louis XIV for potage d'oignons au lait.
Yep.
Onion soup with milk. So thank you to Brian.
That's
Wow.
it. That's the one.
That's the one?
That's the one.
Huh? How was his pronunciation?
Not bad.
Not bad? Okay.
Towers for sponsoring this video as we make onion soup from 1651, this time on Tasting History.
Man, that guy got
Wait,
immaculate
tasting
teeth.
history?
Yeah, tasting history.
Oh, is that?
That is the vibe of this dude's entire channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I think you would like some of the stuff he does because he'll try recipes from like World War II.
Yeah. He should do the modernization of canned products under Napoleon.
Interesting. That sounds fun. Check this out.
The French have a saying, s'occuper de ses oignons, or look after your own onions.
Yeah, not bad.
Basically, it means mind
He's
your
got
business.
some French
But
heritage,
today,
something.
I'm going to take the literal translation and mind my onions, or rather, I'm going to mind the onions of François-Pierre de La Varenne, because this recipe for onion soup comes from his 1651 cookbook, Le Cuisinier François. After your onion is cut very thin and sautéed in butter until it's well browned, cook in a little water well seasoned with salt and pepper. After it is done, add milk to it and boil it. Baking your crusts dry, serve it promptly. Rather simple, yet different enough, I think, from a modern French onion soup that it should be quite
So
interesting.
the milk is what
biggest
got
difference
translated
being that-
into the cheese part.
Okay. I could see how that happens. Yeah. Okay. So far, so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you think of the channel so far?
I gotta follow this.
Yeah. Very cool channel, right?
Instead of cheese and stock, he uses milk, which is actually quite common in onion soup recipes from history. Now, while this recipe was written and published in 1651, it is also appearing in a cookbook that will be published in 2023. Specifically, that cookbook, which will be published in 1 week.
I just thought of something.
What's that?
Well, I've had enough time to stare at him.
Oh no. I was wondering what I thought you were gonna say something about
His
the fact
eyebrows?
that or that he's ginger or whatever.
He's ginger?
Hey, he looks ginger to me, no?
Well, he looks like a dapper version of me.
So La Varenne is actually extremely interesting as a cook because he lives on the cusp between two major culinary epochs. The late medieval and Renaissance on one side, and French haute cuisine on the other. The first is awash in spices and sauces thickened with breadcrumbs, and sweet and savory flavors are often mixed together in a single dish. But French haute cuisine ditched all of that in favor of more fresh herbs and fresh vegetables, along with complicated stocks, creamy sauces, and of course they relegated the very sweet flavors, or sugar in general, to dessert only at the end of the meal. And a lot of Varenne's recipes kind of straddle both worlds, but I feel like this one really is in the latter. It is close to French haute cuisine. See, medieval cuisine was often trying to fit as many different flavors into one dish as possible. Polysavory is the term coined by Ken Albala, wonderful food historian and friend here on the show. But this dish and French haute cuisine really was more mono-savory, I guess. Their goal was to showcase one single flavor with other ingredients just to complement rather than compete with that flavor.
This is all fucking brand new to me. So does any of this ring any bells for you?
It's a little self.
Self-indulgent.
Yes.
And this one is obviously onions, but when cooked well, onions don't need a lot of help because they are just so complicated and rich. So for this recipe, what you'll need is 2 to 4 onions.
Okay.
If they're large, then 2. If they're small, then 4. It really doesn't matter. You can't have too many onions. And you can use yellow onions because that's what I prefer, or you can use white. 4 tablespoons or 57 grams of salted butter, 1.5 cups or 350 milliliters of water, a half teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of pepper. You'll probably be adding more salt and pepper as you go along, but start with a half teaspoon of each and then ramp it up from there. 3 cups or 700 milliliters of whole milk at room temperature, and 8 to 12 slices of French baguette. So to begin, take the onions peeled and
So
slice them
if I'm
in
going to
half
look at
from the
like
root.
how it evolved, I'm going to take a guess that this is a cheap recipe, right?
Yeah.
So the milk like was on hand,
Mhm.
right? And I'm going to guess that when they wanted to uplift this recipe, they started adding wine.
Mm.
But what happened to the wine with the milk?
Curdled.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Because there's acid in wine and the acidity will cause the milk solids to separate.
So I'm guessing if I were to take a guess, that's what happened to the evolution of this soup is that, we still want that fatty texture there.
Right. Right.
So the cheese got implemented.
Right. That makes a lot of sense, right?
See?
There was probably milk, like you said, milk just sitting around. Notice how he said milk at room temperature.
Mm.
So back then, there were no,
Yeah.
no fucking fridges, right? So
Yeah.
before the milk spoiled, they probably were like,
Yeah.
let's use this up.
Let's
Yeah,
use it.
it makes sense. We're totally fucking guessing, but
As soon as you start boiling all those products,
Yeah.
you're extending its life.
right. Yes. Yes. 100%.
That's why
To the
so
stand.
often, like when I have a
Then
meal
chop
that's
them-
about to expire, I'll just boil it
Mhm.
and then either create a recipe or store it back that way.
Mhm.
But
No.
it tends to
Oh, milk's one of those things that
you use.
Yeah, you use.
You just use.
Well, at least these days.
into fairly thin slices. They don't need to be perfect or uniform because they're all going to end up kind of
Unlike
looking
your
the same
eyebrows, it's
in the end.
perfect.
Then take a large saucepan and melt the butter, and then with heat at a medium-low temperature, add the onions. They'll likely fill the entire pot,
He
but
put the root
eventually they will
there.
cook
I don't think he did that on purpose. You see that?
way,
I
way
didn't.
down. Just keep them moving around every couple of minutes so they don't burn. And as they begin to shrink and darken up, you can raise the heat, but just be careful. You don't want them to burn, so keep them moving around. It'll take about 45 minutes to an hour for them to get to the dark golden brown that you want. Your entire
45 minutes to do this? No, just
He must have it at a very low temp. I could see that because number one, you saw how much onion was in that pot, and he is right. Like you want to fill it up because by the time it cooks down, it's going to be like a quarter of the volume. But he's using a conventional stove. Like even the lowest setting on our stoves in the professional kitchen is still way fucking probably just as powerful as that burner on high. You know what I mean? So I could totally see that taking about 45 minutes there. For example, at Mission, I don't have any gas burners. We have induction burners. And for me to do that quantity of onions to get it that brown, because I did a caramelized onion for a pork and apple sandwich, it took about 30 minutes on the induction burner at the lowest setting.
house will
Wish that
smell of
cricket
onions
sound.
in
I need to have that over here.
Nope. Mine.
the best possible way. Once they get to a dark golden brown, pour the water into the saucepan and use a wooden spoon to scrape the sides and the bottom. And then add the salt and pepper and allow the soup to come to a simmer.
I mean, that right there is pretty big. Butter, onions, salt, pepper, and you don't have to use stock. Stock will make it better, but just plain fucking water and like that, hell yeah.
Cover the saucepan and allow it to simmer for a full 15 minutes. Then pour in the milk and with a medium heat, let the soup slowly return to a simmer. Later recipes start to add other ingredients to make sure that the milk doesn't split, but this one doesn't, and it's probably going to split a little bit, but as soon as it starts to boil, you want to
Well,
I don't. There's.
yeah, it looks a little like vomit.
Yeah, I don't
For
like
sure.
the.
Like you can see the milk splitting on the edge of the pan.
take it off the heat and it will split less. Now while the soup is cooking, or really any time before, you could even do it the day before, you want to prepare your baguette. Just make sure that they are nice and stale. If they're not really stale, then put them in the oven at a low temperature for about 30 minutes to dry them out. But once they're nice and dry, set them in the oven at the top rack at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 205 Celsius for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side, just until they're well browned. And while they toast, you can contemplate, ruminate even, on the history of French onion soup.
History.
There's an old French proverb that translates to, if you have no capon, be glad you have bread and onion. And while I'm guessing it actually means be grateful.
Why are you chuckling?
You have no cape on.
Who are we talking about?
Nobody.
For what you have, it kind of gets you halfway to a decent onion soup. Because onion soup is really, really simple, and it has been for a very long time. Residue from pots found from ancient Greece and Rome show that soups where onion was the main ingredient have been made for thousands of years. Onions were sometimes seen as a food for the poor, but they were also eaten by the wealthy, sometimes for their medicinal qualities, or in ancient Rome, to gear up one's libido. Soups with onions thrive.
Oh, it's good for your penis. Like
Money coming. I better have a bowl.
Throughout the Middle Ages, but very often, at least in the written recipes that we have, onions kind of take a back seat to other ingredients in the soup. Even by the 17th century, many onion soup recipes were still filled with peas and parsley and other herbs and vegetables. But the basic onion soup, like the one that we're making today,
can you imagine being in those days, being fat? Like, if you were fat, you were either royalty or professional.
Yeah. True, right? Because you had access to the food. You weren't going hungry.
Right?
Fucking true. Yeah, good point. And the thing is, even though you have access to all the good shit, like at the end of the day, the best stuff went to the royalty.
Yeah.
So you're left with all the fatty parts, you know? Yeah. To what it is to be fat in ancient times.
Of French cuisine, even amongst the aristocracy. Now, how exactly that happened is not entirely known, but there are two stories that kind of tell the story. One is definitely more believable than the other, because the other, which I'm going to say first, is just so not true. It gives credit to King Louis XV, not just for popularizing, but for actually inventing the first onion soup, a full 75 years after the recipe that we're using today was written down. It claims that Louis just got back from a hunting.
Yeah, he liked it and took credit for it at that point. Now that you mention this dude's eyebrows, I can't.
It's like a Nike swoosh.
I can't stop looking at him.
It's like a Nike swoosh.
They're so perfect.
Trip, and he was
like
famished.
Blondie says,
So
that you
this
haven't
French
knack of like taking someone apart and just finding their.
I can't stop.
King, who had never even dressed himself, decided to go into the kitchen and whip himself up a snack. But in the kitchens of one of the wealthiest kings in Europe, there weren't any ingredients except for some onions, some butter, and some champagne. So with no staff around and no culinary...
Royalty brought in the wine.
Now, champagne is good stock.
Yeah, that is good stock.
You know?
Like a
experience, he whips up the first onion soup that's, I guess, based with champagne. There are so many holes in this story that I'm not even going to dignify it with a rebuttal. Now, the second story is slightly less outlandish, and it is told to us by none other than Alexandre Dumas, the author of The Three Musketeers. He says that it was actually Stanislaw Leszczynski, Duke of Lorraine and former King of Poland, who made the dish popular. Didn't invent it, but made it popular. And as this Duke of Lorraine, former King of Poland, was actually the father-in-law of King Louis XV and was a well-known gourmand, he's often credited with inventing the rumbaba as well, that in the case of onion soup, Leszczynski was traveling to Versailles when he stopped at an inn of Chalons where he was served an onion soup so delicate and so well crafted that he refused to continue his journey without learning its preparation. So he goes into the kitchen and starts to learn how to make this soup. And neither the smoke nor the smell of the onions, which brought tears to his eyes, could distract him from his task. He observed everything, took note of it, and went to his carriage only after being sure he'd learned every aspect in the art of making excellent onion soup. Now, at least the story doesn't claim that he invented onion soup, but I also kind of question the claim that he was the one to bring it to the aristocracy, seeing as onion soup recipes had been used in the cookbooks of the aristocracy for about 100 years previous.
Now don't forget, so what soup is famous in Russia and across all the Eastern countries?
Like cabbage,
yeah,
right? Borscht,
right?
Yeah.
So that's just a variation on an onion soup. So France had prominently onions, and as you go into the colder countries, they got that same recipe got replaced with cabbage.
Right. Cabbage, yeah.
What was that in hand, and cooked in the same manner. And you had like peasant borscht had no booze, but then if you look at the high-end version of that, where they added wine or things like that, or sherry and things like that, those were all brought by French chefs that were sent to the Tsar to cook for the Tsar.
Is that factual?
Yes.
Or are you guys gonna, in the comment section, go, aha!
No.
Let me tell you the truth. I mean, whatever it is, let us know in the comments.
But you know what? They need to come with receipts. They like to say, nah, blah, 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 blah. Can they print out receipts? Show me. Show me.
Show them.
Show me.
Show them.
Until you're just blah, 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 blah. It doesn't count.
Unleash the Frenchie to the comment section.
Bring the receipts.
Regardless, by the 19th century, onion soup had become a staple dish amongst all people in France. But the version that we know and love today actually came from the common folk, specifically of Paris. At Les Halles, a massive Parisian food market founded in the 12th century, soup was sold to the people of Paris every day for hundreds of years. The author Émile Zola described it in the 19th century. The bright tin cauldron full of broth was steaming over a little low stove, through the holes of which came a pale glow of embers. From a napkin-lined basket, the woman took some thin slices of bread and dropped them into yellow cups.
Those recipes were able to maintain on a sidewalk, or like you didn't need refrigeration. You didn't need to cook. You just needed a big bucket of it, a big cauldron.
You know what? And that makes a lot of sense for them not putting the milk in it anymore, because it will spoil much faster with the milk in it, right? Yeah, good point. Very, very good point.
Then with a ladle, she filled the cups with soup. Now the soup he's actually talking about there was a cabbage soup, but onion soups were served right alongside it.
See?
And the people of Paris in this area ditched the milk from many of their recipes and replaced it with veal or chicken stock. And sometime during the 19th century, they also added Gruyere cheese to the dish, but it wasn't actually in the dish as it is today. Alexandre Dumas says, grate Gruyere cheese and serve it separately in a saucer for enthusiasts. Now, served out of big cauldrons at a market, it makes sense that the cheese would kind of be served on the side, but as restaurants grew up around the market, they began to
Restaurant
incorporate...
du chien qui fume.
What's that mean?
The restaurant of the dog that smokes.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Cheese into the dish. They also gave it perhaps the first written claim that it was good for a wine hangover. If you should wish to taste this soup so appreciated by the disciples of Bacchus, prepare it according to the following instructions. This recipe from 1913 then goes on to explain basically a modern French onion soup, except that the cheese and the bread are not on top, but on the bottom of the bowl, and the soup is poured over it. Then in 1927, a recipe for soupe à l'oignon gratiné puts the cheese and the bread on top and has you melt the cheese over it. And
so
that is
in
how
France,
French onion soup...
If over here, if like typical American, I want onion soup, the expectation is the onion soup with the baked cheese on top.
Yeah.
If you order onion soup in France, you're not getting the bread and the baked cheese. You're getting onion soup. Gratiné
So
Soup à l'oignon gratiné, that's what
that
you order here.
okay, got you.
So that's like a whole different, it's a whole different
Right,
recipe.
right. So if I get you, I got you. So the default in America for French onion soup is gratiné,
Yeah.
but in France they're two different things. Is
Yep.
that what you're saying? Okay.
Soup is going to be served pretty much everywhere you order it, especially outside of France today, except when you come to this house where I still serve it the old-fashioned way, 1651 style. And here we are, onion soup with milk. First, can I tell you how good my house smells right now? I just wish I could make this every day, even if I wasn't
Yeah, I know. I'm not digging that at all.
eating it. It just smells so good. Here we go.
I'm just gonna pretend it's like grated Parmesan. Yeah, he's not liking it.
It's so good.
No, it's not.
No, I'm sure the flavor is
No,
good.
no, that texture. No. If you lose me on textures.
Right. Okay. I think the flavor will be great. I agree with you on the texture part. Me, not, some people won't dig the texture, but obviously the better thing for this would have been to gone cream. I think the version of French onion soup that's popular now is the best version of it, but cream won't curdle because of its much higher fat content. It can actually withstand being boiled and manipulated, and you'd be surprised how much you can cook down cream and it won't separate. And look at Frenchie.
Condensed milk.
Oh, I thought you were going to start to
I
nod
was.
off.
I was, but then it then it popped into my head.
So good. It's just, when I taste this, there's just like this warming calm that floods over me. It's so homey and simple, but so flavorful. When you cook the onions for a long time, they get sweet, but also a little savory. They still have that onion flavor in them, but they're so complex, they're so delicious. And the thing is, I knew this would be delicious. Usually I'm tasting something for the first time, but I made this for the cookbook, so I knew it would be good. And that's why I did it for this first recipe, or first episode of...
Yeah, I'm done. It was fun.
Yeah.
I would have watched this on the regular, but cool channel. Very cool. And it seems like it got your nod of approval numerous times.
Not the curdled milk.
Not the curdled milk, but the history and all that stuff.
I
Okay.
I like history.
We know.
But I like war.
Yes.
Battle.
Yes. Maybe, do you want us to react to some war shit for Frenchie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
Before we go on to the next section, I do want to mention my band's album, second record, Lost Becomes. The band is called Lost Becomes. Next record comes out January 21st on all streaming platforms. You can also pre-order the vinyl, which I don't think I'll have the link yet, but definitely be sure to look out for that. And if you want to watch us live, January 25th on Long Island at Amityville.
Long Island.
Strong Island. All right, let's get to the next section of today's episode, and that is the not so current news.
Oh, make a button.
What?
Gotta make a button.
Oh yeah. All right, I'll do that. I'll make one of these a button.
We could follow it.
Yes. Very nice. Okay, not so current news.
Typewriter sound effects.
So
Get on.
I was looking on Instagram for things to go over in the not so current news, and you and Le Ravage seem to have this thing about posting foods that look like the penis. And you put it at the tip. Ta-da!
Oh my God, it does.
I'm like, why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep posting foods that look like the penis? I know they're delicious. I know the artistry that went into.
Oh my God, we've already.
Yeah, I know. This is when your steak frites was with
the hanger
steak. But yeah, it reminded me of this, and I find it hilarious. Okay, that's technically not the not so current news, but let's get to the actual not so current news. We're entering a new generation, Generation Beta.
Isn't beta like a derogatory? Oh, you're so beta.
Yeah, alpha. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well,
Alpha is
generation beta starts in 2025. So I guess everyone born in 2025 is gonna be a
beta.
beta. All right. Interesting.
Sucks for you.
Sucks for you. Former
Oh
US
man.
President Jimmy Carter has died at the age of 100.
This just goes to prove that a good human cannot be a successful president. Because he was an amazing human being.
Yeah. What? And his presidency wasn't good?
Mm.
No? I wasn't around for president. Not that old. Next, Party City. After almost 40 years, Party City is closing all its stores nationwide.
I thought they were already closed.
Yeah, I know, right? For real. No, they're gone. They are gone. There was a Party City by my house that was there forever. And the last time I went in there a couple months ago to get happy birthday balloons, oof, it didn't look good.
Mm.
No. All right. Oh man, when I saw this,
Ooh.
so this past summer for Mission
Why would
Sandwich,
you throw this back into the ether?
This article came out 5 days ago, and I think it has some legit things to speak of, and it gave me a lot of food for thought. So the case against deli meats.
Mhm.
Deli meats are consistent, convenient, tasty, and at time of recall outbreaks, one of the riskiest things you can eat.
No, that's bullshit.
2024 shaped up to be the year of foodborne illness. That is legit. I mean,
Yeah, but that's out of all the people who get food poisoning.
mhm.
I mean, this as soon as a the news gets a hold of a story,
Right, they
and they can
blow it
go
up.
after something,
Yeah,
that's what's gonna get a headline. It was headline worthy
right,
because it was a good story.
right, right.
But my God, this is not. No,
Well,
this is actually the whole reason for deli meats was for safety.
right,
Was creating foods that could last, that were safe,
right.
that were temperamental.
Yeah.
So
Basically, what I'm saying is, all the Boar's Head products that had listeria, many of them were very miscellaneous products. It wasn't their core products like turkey breast and roast beef. And I would know because I use them. But man, did this outbreak
bad PR.
fuck my business during the summer when this happened.
Mhm.
People were just so freaked out. And despite us not carrying a single product that was involved in this outbreak, because it was lumped in with deli meat, people were just fucking scared to order it. And it hurt. And to what you're saying, once the news grabs onto a headline, they just
Yeah,
run
but
with it.
once it makes the news,
Yeah.
then everything comes off the shelves. That's when you want to go. Everything's the safest.
Mhm.
You know, it's like it's if a customer complains about like a lettuce,
Mhm.
and it's like, oh, I don't want to eat Raymond. It's like, I don't want to eat that lettuce today. It's like, well, no, we obviously it's very important right now to be safe. So of
Yeah.
course we're like,
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We made a post on social media. We put up a sign saying, "Hey,
whoever took this picture had fun.
yeah, we do not carry any of the affected products. Never did. But regardless, it's still fucked Mission's business over the summer. Is pretty rough. But yeah, that happened. All right, next. Oh man, South Korea is in some shit. South Korea is now on its third president in just 1 month. You want to talk about corruption? Korea got the corruption. And not too long ago, at least 62 dead after South Korean jet
Oh, I
carrying
saw this.
181 crashes at airports.
Ugh.
Yeah, Jeju Airlines, I believe, is what it was. Jeju Island is a beautiful place in South Korea, and the police are not allowing the CEO of Jeju Airlines to leave the country. I think from the headline I wrote, yeah, they're like, "You give me your passport." Oh.
Oh, I've had that happen to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Moving on. Women are more receptive to romance when their bellies are
Oh yes.
full. Yeah. Yeah. But not too full. Not too full. Because when it's too full, then they're like, I'm not in the mood.
Mm,
You know?
you got to feed Blondie.
Yeah.
You don't want no hangry blondie.
NYC is officially the most visited large city in the U.S.
Okay, not officially. It's always been.
Yeah, it's always been that way.
It may be ranked.
We can title this one "No Fucking Duh."
No.
Next, doctors say people should not be on the toilet for longer than 10 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, that is true. Just take your shit and leave.
Don't take it with you.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Yeah.
Leave your shit and leave.
Yeah. I did. Last couple times I've used the toilet, I've purposely not taken the phone with me because there are times where I'll just keep scrolling and I'm sitting there and my legs start getting numb.
But think of it gross. I mean, the potential for cross-contamination.
Right.
You should not be allowed to use your phone.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, next. Bert, the giant crocodile from Crocodile Dundee, dies at 90 years old.
Are you telling me that was a real one?
I don't know about this guy right here, but let's see. Let's see photos.
No,
that can't be.
No,
no
that's a stuffed one.
Bert, the legendary saltwater crocodile who appeared in the 1986 cult classic Crocodile Dundee, has died at the age of all right. It's a reptile attraction in Darwin, Australia, where Bert had lived since 2008, announced his passing, calling him a fierce and fascinating ambassador for the species. Captured in the 1980s near Reynolds River in Australia, Bert gained fame alongside Paul Hogan and Lynn. Okay,
why are you looking at this?
I don't know. It's just the not so current news.
I send you so much stuff that's so much more interesting than this.
This is interesting.
No, it's not.
Moving on. Let's see. Delta Airlines passenger says he lost his upgrade because of another passenger's emotional support dog. Can you imagine you get bumped out of first class because this fucking dog is in your way? And initially I was like, someone getting punched in the face, but I saw the dog and I was like, oh
no,
you puppy.
Yeah, and people are going to prefer a dog to another.
Yeah, I know.
A rough travel experience that's making a lot of waves online. Everyone's buzzing about this. So there's a Delta Airlines passenger who says he was upgraded to first class.
Oh, fuck you.
Then he was downgraded to coach just before he boarded. He says he was told his seat had been taken and that there was nothing he could do about it. When he got onto the plane, this is what he saw. He took a picture. It is someone's emotional support dog. So cute that had been given the seat. Now, the passenger called the switch an absolute joke. That's a quote. Delta says service animals are usually accommodated without impacting seat assignments. Airlines are required to prioritize seating for passengers with disabilities under the Air Carrier Access Act.
Yeah, but let me tell you one thing. The stewardess and the stewardess, they would much rather have the dog there. So that wasn't done. Don't take it personally. It's less work for them.
Yeah.
And if they can use any excuse to fill up that seat without having to get extra work, that dog is definitely getting a seat.
And I didn't realize the dude was upgraded.
Yeah,
and
fuck
then
you.
It wasn't. You
Okay,
so it's not like he didn't pay for it.
Your dreams were dashed.
Yeah.
Buy a ticket next time in first class.
Oscar Mayer is hiring for Wienermobile drivers.
Oh,
yes.
This could be me.
I think we need a career change,
dude. Wait,
what?
How much?
36K base salary, weekly allowance of $150 for meals and personal travel, 18 days of paid time off, full health benefits, and 100% of hotel expenses covered. That's not half bad.
Hey, that's a retirement job. Maybe.
Yeah, that is for sure a retirement job. If you want to see the country, you know?
But that wouldn't even pay my electric bill for 2 months.
Here.
Aquí.
Okay. Next. YouTube plans to remove clickbait videos that mislead viewers. This should be interesting because who is making the rule?
Right? Misleading clickbait isn't that why isn't that false advertisement?
Right? Why isn't that? I've definitely lean some of my titles and thumbnails to be slightly clickbaity.
That is one of the reasons I am so uneducated on the news, because I'll see something newsworthy and then you have to get
it's a bunch of bullshit.
And I go like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck to you.
Should be interesting. I wonder, it says it plans, so we'll see if it gets implemented. See if it gets implemented. All right.
I'm not feeling it.
Next is Nissan and Honda start merger talks to become one company by 2025.
What's going to be the new name?
I don't know if they'll probably make a new umbrella company, but I'm pretty sure they'll keep these two brands separate.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, Nissan's a pretty big name. Honda definitely is not going to change their name.
Yeah.
You know, Honda has a great reputation.
Good for them.
All right. And then to close out today's episode, Governor Hochul signs law making the restaurant reservation black market illegal. This is a legit thing where, just like the sneaker market or a lot of things.
These are the scalping. They were scalping.
Yeah.
Like people who scalp tickets, people were scalping reservations.
Yep.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Now, how they're going to enforce this?
Bullshit.
It's bullshit. I mean,
so all they're going to do is they're going to make less tables available, and then, it's going to be a side hustle.
Yeah.
Because these restaurants are in on it.
Yeah.
It's not like they can say, oh, no, we put the reservations out and people get them up on. No. You guys are in on it.
You know how many restaurants hold reservations?
Yeah.
For certain people.
Not me.
Yeah. Not you. Yeah. You don't.
I don't.
You don't.
Except for table 1.
Which is our table.
Is our table.
Where we're about to go eat.
We're about to eat.
All right. Well, that's all the time for today. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, no, we were having fun.
So it's been an hour.
You in this hourly episode, I feel people want to watch more.
Do you want more? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Do you want more?
Do you think the hour is just, I feel we leave people wanting.
As we should.
That's not right.
Leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Oh, wait. Wrong button. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we did making it. And remember, it always gets better. With that said, I'm Chef Brian TSAO, not your typical chef.
Where's my Frenchy sign? What the hell happened to my Frenchy?
I moved it because I moved the camera angle. You didn't even notice. You didn't even notice. Okay, well, take care, everybody. See you next episode. Say bye to the wide cam. Bye.